The first thing you should know about me is that I, Craig Lee, am a simp. For a good movie... The Wonder is a period drama film directed by Sebastián Lelio and starring Florence Pugh as Lib Wright, an English nurse sent to a rural Irish village to observe a young fasting girl, who is seemingly able to miraculously survive without eating. But is it a medical anomaly, a miracle, or a sham? It's Florence Pugh's birthday, so to celebrate the occasion, I decided to take a look at the newest movie of one of my favourite actors working today. Based on a book by Emma Donoghue, which is inspired by true events but an original story, the Irish tale is pretty authentic, both in the film itself and reality.
To be, filming an Irish film, an Irish story, it was a really wonderful experience, and even though we were shooting the darkest of storylines, I couldn't have said that our life was completely opposite to that.
And by all accounts was an enjoyable set to work on, even if the spontaneous rain did cause some problems. So, no more delaying, let's see how this period piece starts. What? The film opens on the film set. Like the actual film set the film is set on. Film set. While a narrator, voiced by Niamh Algar, talks to us about the importance of stories, which is key to the whole film. This unusual framing device introduces the audience to the setting of the story as we see a nurse on a ship bound for Ireland. She's been summoned here by a group of the village's most powerful men for a task, but she's not the only one.
You and the nun are to lodge here.
Sorry, but why a nun?
That's none of your business. Comedy. The committee informs the two women of their task to watch a young girl who has seemingly gone without food for 4 months. A long walk later we meet the family, her mother and father, and Kitty. Anna herself appears to be a normal girl. A touch malnourished possibly, but surely not as if she's not eaten in such a long time.
Turn around. Turn around again.
At dinner, we learn that Mrs. Wright is a widow, having lost her husband before they could have kids, leaving her a solitary woman, a nightingale. The O'Donnell family too has suffered a loss, their son, Anna's older brother. Kíla Lord Cassidy plays the young Anna, and her mother is portrayed by her real-life parent, Elaine Cassidy, both of whom are brilliant in this. There are plenty of little cracks and bits of damage to the image throughout, the kind you'd expect to see with a movie shot and displayed on film, which The Wonder isn't. However, the grainy yet modern look of The Wonder is brought about using a complicated process, a mix of the old and the new. It was shot on digital, transferred to film, then digitalized, a process which borrows from the end of the 90s, a period when movies could be shot digitally but had to be projected on 35mm, and it creates, I feel, a truly unique look filled with real depth, which digital shooting just tends to lack. Anyway, Miss Flo gets high.
Hey Craig, if you're ready, I think we should get another take done. What are you doing?
She's high. Spends more time with the family, and meets Tom Burke's William Byrne, a reporter in town to write a piece on the miracle girl.
Hello again.
Okay, that was low-key kinda scary. Miss Wright forbids her family from kissing their daughter goodnight, believing they may somehow be slipping her food, and, having grown closer to the young girl, reveals her first name, showing the two are no longer simply professionally bound. Anyway, drugs time! Delish. More time passes and Anna's condition is very clearly declining. Lib Wright learns that William's family had come from here and died during the famine, having locked themselves away in their homes to avoid the embarrassment of dropping dead in the streets. She ends up spying on him as he has a pint down the pub. Probably jealous.
I also have a pint glass with my name on it, which is full-on Guinness fandom.
What to do with your Guinness?
Bug it. Hey, 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 hey. Frog it.
Ah, that was a good one.
Mug it.
Give me all your money, punk. Do you want to die today?
Mug it. Get it? It's a mug. Hug it.
Yeet! What to do with your Guinness?
After a good old bit of the sex, he manages to find out the truth of her life. She had a child who died after just a few weeks, and in grief her husband abandoned her. Lying and calling herself a widow is in some way true, but is ultimately a story she tells herself as a way to distance her mind from the truth. That and the drugs help to relieve the constant burden upon her soul. Lib, Anna and William take a walk together where he gives her a gift, a formatrope, a toy with an image printed on either side. This particular toy displays a bird on one side and a cage on the other, so when it spins, it appears the bird may be in the cage or may not, so it's up to you to decide whether the bird is free or trapped.
Inside, outside, inside, outside.
Anna's condition worsens, so Miss Wright goes to the doctor.
Anna is in danger.
The Wonder is set 10 years after the Great Irish Famine, and that trauma still looms over the community. People are desperate to find something holy in the act of starvation, so that all those deaths, the lost loved ones, weren't for nothing. Anna collapses on her daily walk, and after Lib confronts her about the fasting, the girl does not deny that her mother had been sneaking her food, something that stopped after the nurse forbade her parents kissing her goodnight. It's a very difficult scene to watch, not only because we've come to care for both of these characters throughout the course of the film, but because of young Kíla's performance, which I truly cannot praise enough.
We'd all share our thoughts and ideas, and the sensitivity that she brought to lines and the thoughtfulness that she brought to this beat and that beat, and she is fantastic.
Lib brings these truths to the committee, but they refuse to accept them, and when prompted, the nun does not back up what Miss Wright has said.
Have not.
Let's go punch a nun!
Anna continues to die, and despite pleading with the girl's mother, no one will step in. So, she takes matters into her own hands.
It's not a small thing you're asking of me. It's kidnapping, Lib.
While everyone else goes to mass, Liv gives the young girl a chance to die as Anna or live as a new little girl. She quietly accepts and is reborn out among the grass. She's taken unseen to us by William away from that place, and as is tradition for Florence Pugh, she ends the film by burning down a building, intended to cover their tracks, destroying her container of drugs as she does. As the three of them accept their new lives, a new story to define who they are, we leave them on a ship bound for a new land, as the camera swings around to bring us back into reality, away from their fiction, leaving us with a simple question.
In, out, in, out.
So, is The Wonder any good?
Yes.
The Wonder is a slow movie, that much is undeniable. There was definitely some trimming to be done here, but the pacing is pretty clearly intentional, and I respect the film's commitment to immersing us in those characters' lives, even if it feels the need to remind us this is purely a story. Initially, it felt to me as if the film's stance was anti-religion, considering how the religious characters are portrayed practically entirely by their neglect of the child, but I don't think that's the case. It just asks for us to have more elasticity in our beliefs, to be less rigid on our views of the world. The film asks you what you believe in, and can you change those beliefs if reality demands it?
You, dear viewer, will be exposed to the powerful mechanisms of fiction. You will suspend your disbelief, and you will believe in the film, just like the characters are believing in their stories.
The film explores the idea of the power of stories, how ultimately stories define and create our entire lives. At its centre is the story of the fasting girl. Anna's life is dictated by the stories she's been told. Only at the end does she decide to move herself into a happier narrative crafted by Lib and William. Technically, of course, the film is brilliantly made, with some beautiful visuals all shot on location. Great performances by the whole cast, particularly Florence and Kíla, who are given the most to get their teeth into. I could spend a while diving into all the technical aspects of production, which I appreciate, but ultimately that's not my area of expertise. I specialise in D's. D's what, you say? There are far better people out there to talk about that side of the production, and hopefully they do so. Because while The Wonder is a great film, it's not received much attention up to this point, and likely never will. Which is a shame, because I thought it was wonderful. You get it? 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 It's a pun! Happy birthday, Florence Pugh, and Happy New Year to all of you! I spent £40 on this cardboard cutout, so expect to see it show up again at some time in the future. What the fuck am I going to do with this? Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, I hope you have a beautiful day, and